Hello, hello. Gigaschatten here, welcoming you to another game of mine. And this time I played as a replacement. I was inspired by Frostriese. You can check his profile. Maybe I'll show that in another video where he just shows and explains via a very nice PowerPoint how he kind of, joined a lot of games as replacement and then brought the Empire back up to speed and sometimes even won. And I thought, you know what? What he can do, maybe I can replicate a little bit. So let's have a look. This is the game. This is the Talos sector. And I joined in slot 5 as the privateers in turn 33. Reason for that was I saw he had a couple of ships and this sector wasn't that strong, and I was like, okay, I'm just a replacement and I will try my level best. So without further hesitation, let's jump into the game. Okay, so the first turn in 33 will be a little bit lengthy, but nevertheless, so anyone who knows me knows that I am marking my planets with colors. A short explanation: this violet color is like for my star bases or the bases I encountered. Blue are natives, orange are natives plus nice minerals in the ground, for example here reptilian plus over 1k, in this case even over 11k tritanium. And yellows planets are like they have nice minerals but no natives, and this normal color is like just barren planets and you can have them or not. So the first thing we are going to do is first cycle through the ships. So what do we have? What did my predecessor build? Well, Star Drive 1, 4 lasers, 4 Mark 1. Yes, you know it. I called this Meteor MBR Turtle. Next one, transwarp, at least transwarp. So you can fly far, but for lasers for Mark 1, pretty crappy. And this guy again, yeah. So the first 3 ships I encountered were like, oh my god, what is this? Okay, let's continue. What else did he build? So we have a transwarp disruptor BR4, fine. Then we have a large deep space freighter warp 8, that's okay. Transwarp medium, fine. Another LDSF warp 9, and here again another, meteor with no firepower at all, just disruptors. Here, I mean, warp 9 and heavy disruptors. It's a little bit of an improvement. It's good. Next one, again, lasers for Mark 1. And yeah, continue. 4 lasers Mark 1. 7 lasers, Star Drive 1. Yeah, and then here, the first decent standard ship I encountered, which is a meteor. And I named it after Heiko, the great player. I thought, yeah, it's my best ship, so let's give it a nice name at least. And then a BR4 with only 3 disruptors. Yeah, why build 4 if you can build it with 3? That's okay. And then I was like, okay, what? I have a heavy phaser ship. Cool. A damage medium. I mean, this gave me a little bit like itches. It was, as you can see, transwarp, but with 1 disruptor only. Yeah, and then I thought, okay, let's give my last ship something like a name like BR4 Last Hope. Another LDSF, and that's it. I have 19 ships. Quickly cycle through the planets so you get also a kind of a feeling on where this empire stood. I immediately overtaxed, and before we further go, I upgraded the hull tech. I didn't need much to do here, as you can see, 942. I can't even remember. I think it was just for building this ship. So, and then, yeah, these are the planets, and let's start. I mean, this one didn't develop, but this one already highly developed, just next to my base. Tritanium and neutronium. Great. Next one. Everything dug out. And he went for this flat 40, so you can here change the tax rates. He set it to flat 40, which is great. Look at that. The amount of mega credits and supplies lying here. Great. No developed, not developed, but in the vicinity of being developed. So he built a lot of mines and factories here, so this is great. This one not developed, but you could get like 400-ish mega credits out. Okay. And then look at this. Oh, wow. 20k mega credits, 18k supplies. Not harvested. Then here, and as you can see, this is a base I just newly built. And this one as well. So the only existing base was the homeworld, which I showed you just a couple of minutes ago. So these are the two new bases I built immediately because I have like Gypsol early tribal. Next, 19k and a Nova class ship hovering over this planet. Okay, so the Federation is kind of here. Yeah, okay. Then a humanoid planet. Also, yeah, here, not developed. What is this? Siliconoid. And then the next one, 16k money lying around here. So that's 2 turns from my home world. Right? And this is the second base I built. It's just because I had like all the minerals here already. And with 16k lying here and stuff like, I don't know, where was it here? 20k. Yeah, I can catch up and I can get decent ships out. So I said, okay, let's build another base here immediately. And as we cycle through the remaining stuff here, Avian's Unity, another nice planet. So quite good. And basically, that was it, right? I mean, here again, so I should have marked this in yellow at least, but yeah, so let's change that. This would be a yellow planet for me because I'm getting nice molly here out, but no natives. And then look at this. Next to his homeworld, an avian planet with 30k mega credits. Okay, so this is the situation. I have 19 ships, of which I would deem only 2 meteors properly built. The rest is like, yeah, maybe probably an inexperienced player. He didn't know what to do and just built crappy stuff, which is fine. You know, everyone starts. But for everyone watching this, build at least, you know, some decent armaments. If you don't know what to do, build Mark IV torpedoes on every ship, or heavy proton or gammas, but not Mark I. They're utterly useless, okay? And also the privateers are hard to understand as a beginner, but nevertheless. So this is how we started. And this was the state I was in, turn 33. Let's also have a look at the scoreboard. And in turn 33, you see like only 189 ships were built. Which shows immediately, okay, this is a low ranked game. The people don't have much experience. Again, totally fine. And I just saw, okay, there's an opportunity here. If I get my bases up, then I can kind of start rebuilding this empire. Yeah, there's still some time left, but looking at the scoreboard, we see the evil empire is the strongest, or has the highest score, like 30 warships, a lot of freighters, and military score is quite high. Next is Nenefta here with the robotics with 180. A military score, I think here, as you can see, strongest, and then the missing colonies of man, and then the crystals. My neighbor, the Federation, again, didn't seem to be a very strong player. Everyone has to start, totally fine. And so what I did is I reached out to him and said, look, I don't want to steal your ship. maybe we can arrange something, and maybe, and now comes the idea. I have like 15 ships or so which are useless, or not useless, but they can be better, right? And I was like, hey, Federation, you have the ability to super refit. How about you help me and I help you, and then we can get along? What do you think? And to my surprise, he agreed. So great stuff. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the initial movements. So here I'm building a new base, but I need to supply it, and literally next to this gypsolial planet is like not most of the minerals, but the mega credits I need. So 10k I will shift over, and that will be a good thing. Next, same here, I dropped stuff, and I'm going to fly to this planet and then supply this base again with the minerals from here, and also with 10k, so 20k from this planet. So in 2 turns, I will get this base up and running, and it will produce very nice meteors. Okay, same here, like heavy disruptors. Let's fly first back and then develop some of the planets, and then later fly out with this ship again. Same thing here. Reach this planet, get the mega credits, and then get home. And this is now, I'm here in enemy territory, and I saw the cyborg was almost dead. But I see here also Birdman planets, and I was like, okay, probably the Birdman invaded, so I need to get the crap out of here. I'm totally clueless, I don't know what's happening, so I started, okay, cloak where I can cloak, and the rest get out. Yeah, same here, just flying back home. Reason for that is I am mobile. My ships, or the privateer ships, have gravitonic accelerators and can therefore also cover larger distances, namely 162 light years, so double the amount a normal Warp 9 engine can go. Alright, and as you can see, this is the state I was in. So, without further hesitation, let's jump into turn 34. Right? So again, let's cycle through the ships. This one I'm going to reach out because I need to get my planet count up a little bit. We only have like, I think 29 of those. Here, this one I will use to gather the nice minerals here, supply my base here, and then I want to build, I think, a Merlin either here or here, and then chunk out just more and more meteors. And as you can already see, Transwarp, Heavy Disruptor, and Mark 7. Heavy Disruptors I like a lot because of the 3 times crew kill ability of the privateers, and the Heavy Disruptors already kill a lot, and you can decently sweep. It's not as good as Heavy Phasers, but it's good enough, right? And here, these ones I will just send out to kind of colonize some planets and get my foot into those areas. Again, just the first couple of turns is rearranging. And whilst doing that, as you can see here, these 2 X's, not very nice. Because, as you can see, I struck mines. So immediately I lost 3 meteors. And that was a mistake. I should have at least waited a turn, go for minesweep, and then checked what happened. So, and even the 2 ships, which were the only ones which had decent armament, were properly built, they blew up. So I was like, oh fuck, this is a really, really, really bad start as a replacement. But fine, we got to deal with it, and I said, I'm just a replacement, I'm gonna stick to it. Still some time because the players, again, not very experienced, and maybe I can recover, and if not, I will have a nice and fun game. Okay, so this guy I'm sending home because this kind of, he kind of maybe, you know, captured something, so some crew were missing. And as I said, first things first here, getting the money to the right, and as you can see, and here I'm going to supply this base as well. And basically that's it. So the Nova began retreating because he just saw like me entering the game, and he was like, I mean, I sent him a negotiation but he didn't immediately react, and then maybe he went into the warp well and now will fly back. Okay, so this was this turn basically, right? And I'm even using this star drive 1 with overdrive to get something back to my home world. And as you can see, just building a meteor here and another one here. Yeah, also crappy, but I need to get some ships out. And this was the best I could do this turn. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And also a small, large deep space freighter here. All right. That's it. Time machine, turn 35. Let's have a look. At least none of my ships exploded. And here with the minesweep on one of those ships, I think it was one here, I can't remember anymore. I could scan this Birdman field, which cost me dearly, like 3 ships, right? Again, just collecting the stuff from these planets and flying them home. So very grateful that my predecessor had built quite a decent economy, but the ships he built were not the best. But nevertheless, so we went home and we are continuing to rebuilding this empire. Just cycling through, and then, you know, here and there, like this planet, there are reptilians. We need the minerals. It's the reason why I'm sending a medium here. One of the large deep space fighters flies to here to get the minerals back to the space. And yeah, so on. So not much to say here, actually. We can quickly skip this. But you can see, next meteor, I'm running low on Molly. But the first one I wanted to have at least some kind of sweeping capabilities. And as you can see, with the money, which I've brought back to this base, I can chunk out already Disruptor and 4 Mark 7 torpedo meteors. And the same here. Isn't this nice? And with the stuff going on from here and here, for example, from this here, I can get myself a Merlin. And then, you know, next to it, I still have 11k supplies. So I can, like, as you can see, I wrote Ultragal, which is like extremely nice planet, and then, you know, getting all the supplies from here, right? So turn 36. Okay, so started some negotiations. Let's first have a look at the scoreboard. It didn't much change except for this guy, and he's trying to block with a lot of freighters the queue. Fine. But he's also gaining like military score because he's building more and more fighters, so this guy is still the strongest. Report wise, or no, we have a VCR. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, empty planet from Larry McCarthy, the Birdman, and I got it. That's fine. And here is an Empire planet, I will drop it, and so on. So before we cycle through, anything to see here? No. Defeated, explosions, Automa, and Cold Pain. So the robot seems to be down here and I'm up there, which is nice. And also, what do we have? A D7, so this is also good. And yeah, all my ships were built. We even have some meteors impacted, luckily on a base of mine. And again, let's just cycle through the ships. And now I was like on good terms. I think now with the Federation, he was just, I think, sending this Missouri to refuel this Nova and then head back home. So you will see in a couple of turns that some meteors will be heading into space and then they will get refitted and so on. So we have already an agreement here. As you can see, I can see his planets. And yeah, and here is the first one. And I'm going to tow this crappy ship. And yeah. So again, just in the rebuild mode, flying it back, and I think next turn I have built a Merlin there. And here now we are starting to colonize more and more planets. Yeah, not much happening, to be honest. And again, that's the turn. So we have like 30 planets now. And here on this homeworld, as you can see, uranium 0, I managed to squeeze it out exactly so that I could build a Merlin. And now the production begins. Another meteor here and another one there. So turn 37. Okay, my first ships are heading towards his homeworld, and we brought some uranium, as you can see, and also moly. We managed to build another meteor here, and then again meteors, and another Merlin, right? And this one will produce like 900 moly here, and we still have 2k left. And I think I was aiming to build another base here, not sure, but we will see. And now the development of the other planets begin. So just quickly cycling through here, not much to see. It's kind of boring, but you get the point. So the first couple of turns is getting the economy back up again and building decent ships, and then at the same time here poking a little bit with my ships which were here, which I don't think they're very useful, at least not at this moment, but still good to scout and then maybe take over some smaller planets here. Also this medium flying back, get it repaired, and it's another cargo space I get, right? So there we have it, and that was that turn. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now let's jump to turn 40. So speeding up a little bit. And as you can see, I told him I'm going to also give him as a payment a meteor. So because I know that the Federation ships, they lack speed, nevertheless, but also fuel. They tend to have fuel problems. And he's getting a cloaker, right? And I said, you can get as a payment this meteor, and then you can clone it. It's a crappy meteor, the better for him, and then later refit it as per his needs. And he agreed, and so that was it. As we can see, we have a first Swift Heart here invading us, and also a Superstar Destroyer. And I was like, okay, great present from the Birdman. He probably captured it. And now, as you can see, I'm going to pull them out here and then try to capture it. Okay. And yeah, and besides that, all other ships either colonizing or scouting or whatever. So here, this is this. I can't remember why I set it to not fire torpedoes. I think the reason was that I didn't want to destroy the ship in case it didn't have any fighters at all, and then my ship would either blow up or explode, but I'm going to capture it here with the meteors. All right, so this is the turn, and this time I had enough mega credits to also start building sweeper ships, which are these blood flanks. This is the only ship I have with those many beams, and I said, okay, let's also get some heavy phasers, and they at least, you know, sweep 2,800 mines, so like 3 turns and this field would be gone, right? Here I'm building another Bloodfang, and then I ran a little bit low. This is the kind of a crappy base, and I said, okay, then let's get some ladies there. And yeah, this one, meteor, and that's it. Okay, so we have now 34 ships. And with that, next turn, Time Machine 41, where are you? Here. And we have CR. We have even 2. There we go. So we managed to capture a nice Swift Heart for us. And as you can see, these disruptors and then also the 3 times beam crew kill from the privateers helped a lot. And then next, as I suspected, I didn't want to further damage or kill this ship. And as you can see, he just destroyed me. But that is fine, because I was like, Rather, I get an SSD, which I can use for capturing kind of bases. And this is exactly what I'm doing. So one ship is robbing it. And in case you don't know, a meteor has 285 fuel tank and an SSD has only 180. So I jettisoned everything into the space, so I am down to 30 fuel. I'm going to rob this ship, and at the same time this guy will decloak and then tow it. I didn't want to risk bringing it to my homeworld. Reason is, let's say I towed, there was a ship here, I don't know how, or I brought it back. I wasn't sure. I think I said if there was a cloaked ship, they could transfer and do something with it. I don't know. But I mean, I'm cow capturing it this turn. Okay, but still, I didn't want to directly bring it to my homeworld. And I said, okay, let's take a detour and then get back. So we're going to have an SST next turn. And the rest, as usual, just really these turns, the first like 10 turns is just getting all these 4 bases up and running with these planets here. Luckily, we have the privateers. Their ships don't cost much, right? Yeah, all right. So there we have it. Just cycling quickly through the ships. And this Merlin now is always moving back and forth because here we have the supplies, or had them, as you can see. I churned around a lot of minerals, and next turn I'm going to supply this planet with 900 molly and then build more and more ships here. Okay, these ones are looking good, and again, and the crappy ships are heading to the Federation space, and yeah, another 4, and then they're going to get refitted. And as I said, he got a payment here, 1 or 2 meteors, I can't remember anymore, and which is perfectly fine for me. Okay, and that's it. So now let's have a look. As the game evolved, turn 45, and now we're going to always go in 5 steps. All right, because I don't want to bore you out. So we are up to 50 ships at the moment. Go board, let's have a look. And the robotic clear leader, followed by the missing colonies of man, followed by almost me, which is a surprise. As you can see, we have the crystals, we have the evil empire. Oh yeah. And yeah, the first ships of the missing colonies of man I spotted here, and I was like, okay, so let's build a kind of a grab as many planets as possible and then try to agree with him on a non-aggression pact. All right, but before we go there, again, more and more ships being built, and I wanted to show you my fleet composition now. So we have like 5 Bloodfangs, always heavy phasers, and do they all have fighters already? Yes. So I used all the mega credits to at least, build 60 fighters on each of them. Then we have a couple of ladies, those 5 LESFs, 2 Merlins, and the rest meteors. Right, and again, I could only pull this off because the players, not much experience, and the queue wasn't full. And as you can see, in the first turn, I had like 19 ships. Of those, only 2 operational, which I lost a turn later due to minefield hits. And now, like 12 turns later, this is my composition. Everything with Mark 7s, sometimes even Mark 8. And yeah, it's looking better and better. And I was like, okay, where can I gain planets? So I thought, look at this empire of the birds. It's like not 59 planets with 7 warships. Like this guy, yeah, sorry, but there's no competition for me. And since the cyborg planets here got taken over by the bird, or here I spotted them, I was like, okay, he's taking over these planets and he must be here somewhere. So my idea was make a piece with the Federation and here with the colonies, and then just, you know, go down this route and capture as many planets as possible, and then maybe ally up with someone. So that was my game plan. Okay, so let's quickly cycle through the ships, turn 45. And again, here in my home cluster, not much happening. As I said, flying back and forth here. And yeah, colonizing some planets. And I said also to the Federation here, you can have these planets and then go south. And surprisingly, I was like, why aren't you colonizing these planets here? He was like, yeah, the colonies, he had an agreement with them and they gave him this border. And I was like, what? This is like your core here, right? And this guy probably sitting here, kind of, yeah, feared the Federation to agree to something like that. So, I mean, look at this. If this is the colonies, how many planets this guy has, right? But okay, none of my business. I was like, fine, do whatever you want. And I started moving my ships now, therefore, into this space. Yeah, and then started taking over some of those planets, starting here, minesweeping. Yeah, heavy phasers to 8. This one is moving cloaked. And yeah, as I said, invading that space. And here, all these, he built, yeah, again, great, many thanks to the Federation player here. And he really upgraded them to heavy phasers, Mark 8. Look at this. What an awesome guy. Right? And he was like, okay, you can also, I will want to give you Missouri for the exchange. I was like, no, let's leave it. Here, take the meteor. But somehow he didn't clone it. I didn't understand exactly why. Maybe he wasn't quite sure how to do it. I told him how to do it, but yeah, he didn't I think, build too many of those. All right, so turn 45. Again, let's have a look at the scoreboard. And we have reached now even the ship limit. That's it. So this is my fleet. Yeah. And so in the last like 3-4 turns, people woke up kind of and then built more and more ships. Like 10 turns ago, this was here at 200. And 10 turns later, this was at 500. All right. Without further hesitation, turn 50. And as you can see, the map shifts more and more. All these planets I'm taking over. Why? Because the Birdman is, yeah, I'm sorry to say it, but he didn't have enough ships. I was like, yeah, this is a war game. We need to get in there. And here suddenly something interesting happened. I was like over these planets and I could steal the colony ship here. I gave him a warning. I said, look, I'm a replacement. I'm pretty sure you're pretty good and strong, whatever. And I don't want to steal your Virgo because I didn't want to necessarily have another battle, you know, opening here with my neighbor here because I rather want to have my ships mainly here. And he agreed. He said, fine. So here's a kind of a border we agreed. We agreed that he doesn't attack my planets. And guess what? He backstabbed me later. But we will talk about that. So I was like, yeah, let me just fly out. And he was like, no, just decloak so I can tow you out. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just give me the friendly code of the planets. Don't lay mines and let me get out. And he kind of said, yeah, sure. And then next turn, turn 51. Look at this. If I had moved my ships, they would have maybe blown up. So he lied to me and yeah, started laying minefields. And I was like, what are you doing? I gave you a heads up that I could steal your ship. I didn't do it. And now I need to sweep those fields, but these, you know, take forever with 4 disruptors. If you say like 576 mines I can sweep, and these are like 6,000. Takes me like 10 turns with one ship of like, you know, and I was pretty pissed already at this guy. But I was like, okay, I'm in a bad position. But this guy definitely, what's his name? Jane McGuire kind of backstabbed me, and I was like, what are you doing? Come on. And then it went back and forth, and I can't even remember if he gave me the friendly code. In the end, I started, sweeping the mine so I can get out, and he was like, now you are sweeping the mines. You didn't allow me to tow you out, and now you're even sweeping my mines. And I was like, yeah, how the hell am I going to get out? So this guy was a mystery for me. And I was like, okay, nevertheless, I tried to talk him into a border, and yeah, all right. So nevertheless, here I'm going to really don't want to show this here because this was pretty sad. This was like getting the planets without even having any kind of fighting back, at least not at this time. And the reason is clear, this guy didn't have any ships, but he dropped now from 59 to 44. And I don't know if you remember, like had 30 or 35 planets like 12 turns ago. Or when I started, I think we had 29, and now we're up to a whooping 84 planets. Right? Okay, just don't want to bore you out here. And basically, this is what happened here. Time machine turned for 55. We're almost at the end. And then suddenly, I see more and more minefields like going up, like here. And then I see this ship moving into the space. And then I was like, why is your cobalt here? Right? And he was like, yeah, I don't trust you. And I was like, yeah, but we had an agreement. And he was like, I don't trust you. And I was like, okay. I think one of my ships even blew up here. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to give you a compensation here. You can have this cobalt then. I was like, yeah, sure. And then I still see this ship heading into my space. Another cobalt here, the Patriots. Another Virgo. And I was like, yeah, this guy is really, really strange. I don't know. I mean, looking at the scoreboard, yeah, clearly much stronger than me, but yeah, lying into the face of someone, not a good thing, man. I put you on my watch list, and next time we will see us again in another game. Okay, nevertheless, maybe you had good experiences with this guy. I don't know. I didn't. And also, same thing here. I said, look, I can rob the shit out of your. Yeah, no, I couldn't. I mean, he doesn't have much, but I was like, I don't want to fight you, and I'm still backing off here. He intercepted my ships here, I think, or did I do that? I can't remember. Yeah, nevertheless. Okay, just continuing here, and then I also went into that Empire space, and I was like, oh, Empire. He was also replaced by this new guy, Korax Floor, and I was like, do you want to play together? Yes. And at the same time, I had sent out a request to the robotics. And the robots, they responded a turn later, and he was clearly stronger, and I wanted to the Empire, sorry, I'm going to play with him, although you also wanted to play with me. So I can recommend everyone to play with Korax Floor. Very nice person, and he said, yeah, no problem, I can understand. And then, yeah, that was it. I was like, I'm not going to immediately attack you, give you a couple of turns to prepare. And he was like, yeah, thanks. And then we agreed. So I'm taking more and more over all these planets here. And yeah, in the end, let's go to turn 60 at the scoreboard. And as you can see, pretty close, like us together, we are going to hit the 250 planets score soon. And the Birdman like dropped from 59 to 16, and yeah, I'm sorry. And at the same time, look at this. The colonies were like, ha ha ha, and as I said, here was the line to not cross it. Look what's happening, and he's now aggressively invading because he was like, oh no, I think that guy is going to ally up and then maybe win this game. I don't want this. Yeah, and then in the end, here in turn 62, we agreed, and then the countdown started. So we allied up, and then it was really, really close. So here on the edge, we have like 200, what is this? 49? Yeah, and then we said, yeah, a turn, let's do that. And in the end, we managed to get the score up to over 250. And yeah, a lot of VCRs happening, as you can see, mainly from the robot. So he fought like all the crystal stuff. I just attacked planets, to be honest, because with my ships I can't go ship versus ship or whatever. And also here the colonies started to attack my planets. But you know what? As a cloaker race, I don't freak out. I'm just waiting over the planet. I can either rob him or drop the planet back, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to sit on this planet, and every turn where you attack me, I'm going to drop 2 clans on the planet and take it back. And then I'm going to repeat that. At some point of time, I'm going to rob you, but that's it. That's how I managed to hold then these fleets, which are heading clearly towards my space. And yeah. But in the end, it was really close. So let's go to turn 66. Full board, and as you can see, barely we are at 251 planets. And this was like almost the last turn. Time machine turn 67 here. And also here, this guy started laying mines. But as I said, just sitting on the planets, doing nothing, waiting for him to attack, and then I'm just going to drop it back. Yeah, and here in this turn, again, like barely, like really barely, we hold it. And guess what? We won the game. So many thanks to the robot player. A lot of thanks to the Federation player. I hope you stay with planets and succeed even more. But yeah, you shouldn't have agreed to this kind of agreement. But in the end, let's wrap up. Replacement. If you are lucky and like in this game, the queue wasn't too full, and also I wasn't sitting on 2 or 3 planets. Give it a go. Take a place as a replacement player, go in and learn something. Learn a race you have never played, get to the play style. The good thing is you can even drop out of this game. So every game where you enter as a replacement player, you don't get penalties or penalty points for dropping. So you can join a game, play a couple of turns, and if you then feel, yeah, this isn't it, or this is really hopeless, or diplomacy didn't work and all the ships were crappy, or my planets, whatever, or real life matters, just get out. But at least you got to play a race which you normally don't play. Maybe it's the Empire, maybe these are the Cyborg. Learn to channel, whatever. So join the game. As a wrap up, we started with 19 ships, of which 3 I lost a turn later. So I had 16 crappy ships. That was it, right? And in the end, we managed, due also to the fact that one of my neighbors, like the Birdman, wasn't really, I'm sorry, very good. And also the Cyborg had dropped or was killed. I had an easy area where I went in. Also, diplomacy, very, very important. I had this great Federation player, so Don Ray. Again, kudos to you. He like upgraded my ships and also kept the peace until the end of the game, right? I mean, he has Lokis. He could have rolled over me. He didn't do it. And yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, basically that wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't go into many details of how to rob and whatever. This was more like a ship versus planet game for me, and then just slowly advancing into this area whilst holding this aggressive colonies a little bit back. And yeah, I hope this inspires one or the other to play as a replacement. If you want to know more, there is a very, very, very comprehensive and good guide from a player called Frostriese. Just go to his profile. There he has a link to his PowerPoint and have a look at it. Get inspired, play planets, and have fun. With that being said, 45 minutes, everyone who has watched this to the end. Thanks for that. And I'm going to continue with more games soon. Alright, Gigaschatten over and out.